Hi, welcome to Running with the Pac. I'm your host, Eldridge Ricasner. A couple times a week, I'm going to take a dive into everything Pac-12 men's basketball. As 2020 comes to an end, there were 6 games on the schedule today to be played. With 2020 being what it is, 2 of them were postponed due to COVID protocols. The first game up was Arizona State at Washington State. So basketball fans aren't going to have a chance to look at 2 of the best perimeter players in the Pac-12 conference, and Remy Martin and Josh Christopher. Remy Martin, first team All-American pick this year, coming in averaging 17 a game. And of course, Josh Christopher, the highly touted freshman, was right behind him, or right there, even with him, averaging 17. They were going to take on the Washington State Cougars, who were led by Isaac Bonton, who you guys probably remember from last season. But remember this name, Efe Abogedi, 6'9" freshman from Nigeria who jumps out of the gym. Reminds me of Sean Kemp, can jump off the 2-foot vertical jump or off the run. Just an amazing athlete who I'm excited to see play this year. He's coming in averaging 10 and 9, almost a double-double on the season. The second game that was postponed was Stanford at Oregon State. And actually, I'm supposed to be in Corvallis right now getting ready to call that game. But Oregon State had some COVID issues on with their program, so that game has been postponed as well. Stanford, of course, is led by senior Oscar De Silva from Munich, Germany, coming in averaging 19 and 6 a game. Just a really talented power forward that can do a little bit of everything. Every year has gotten better. And also Zaire Williams, the highly talented freshman that picked Stanford, that kind of surprised everybody. They were going to go up against Oregon State and Ethan Thompson, averaging 17 a game. He's a leader for that team. Oregon State has a lot of transfers, so it's going to be interesting to see who was going to win that one, and hopefully that game will be rescheduled and played as well. As far as the games that will take place today, first up at 4 p.m. tip Pacific time is Utah versus UCLA. I'm going to go with the Bruins in this one because I just think UCLA has all the pieces. They're led by Tiger Campbell, a guy who's a pass-first point guard, always looking to get other people involved. But if you don't pay attention to him and leave him open, he can knock down a jump shot or finish at the rim. The key to UCLA for me is Chris Smith. You know, when I had a chance to watch Chris play last year, I said, wow, this guy's going to be an NBA player. You know, he averaged 13 points a game last season. This season is a little bit down. He's averaging 12. And if UCLA is going to win the Pac-12 and make the NCAA tournament like everybody's picked them to, I think Chris Smith is going to have to step up his offensive production and be the player that everybody thought he was going to be after the way he played last season. Utah, on the other hand, is led by Timmy Allen. I think if UCLA can find a way to contain him, they'll win this game. But they also have some other guys that can hurt you if you don't pay attention to him. Alfonso Plummer is one of those guys, a lefty that shoots the 3 really well. If you don't pay attention to him, he can get hot and he can hurt you. But I think UCLA being at home, even though there's no fans, I just think it's going to be tough for Utah to win that one, so I'm going with the Bruins. Next up after Utah, UCLA is Arizona at Washington. Now, Arizona lost their first game of Pac-12 play against Stanford in Santa Cruz because, as you guys probably heard by now, Stanford can't play any games at home in Palo Alto, so they've totally been on the road this whole entire time. So it's unfortunate that they don't get a chance to play their second Pac-12 game against Oregon State today. But like I said, hopefully that game will be rescheduled. Arizona's coming in at 7-1. Like I said, the only loss being against Stanford. They've got a really, really good backcourt. James Akinjo and Jamal Baker, 2 of the best in the league. They can flat out shoot the 3 ball. They can take it to the basket. They can finish. They're going to test Washington's zone, so that's going to be interesting to see how those guards do against that Husky zone, Mike Hopkins zone. For the Huskies, I think in order for them to win, they've got to find someone besides Quade Green to step up and give some consistent scoring. Quade Green's been the only guy to this point. The only other really bright spot has been Riley Soren, the 7'4" kid that walked on a few years ago, and he's come in and played really well. Nate Pyre's played a nice role, but guys like Raekwon Battle, Jamal Bay, somebody's going to have to knock down some 3-point shots for me or right if Washington is going to have a chance to win this game. So I'm kind of leaning, even though I'm a Husky, I'm leaning towards Arizona in this one. After that, we've got Cal at Oregon. Cal, led by Matt Bradley, he's the leading scorer in the Pac-12 up until this point, averaging 19 a game, but Oregon just seems to reload every year. Every year I say this, Dana Altman just goes out there and he finds guys, and this time he's got Eugene Amarui and Eric Williams Jr. that are transfers. They're coming in. Eugene's averaging 18 points a game, built like a grown man. He's a senior, so he's really strong. He's really good. But the Ducks have a lot of weapons. You know, Chris Duarte is averaging 15 points a game. He can hurt you. And even though Oregon isn't playing they're playing without their starting point guard, Will Richardson, I'm going to give the nods to the Ducks because I just don't think Cal has enough firepower. You know, Matt Bradley's a good player, but I just don't think they have enough firepower to go into Eugene and beat the Ducks at home. The last game of the night, in my opinion, is the best matchup of the night. We got Colorado at USC. Colorado, veteran team, led by McKinley Wright. Of course, Tad Boyle, I don't think gets enough credit for how good of a job he does every year. But they got Evan Batty. You know, they've got some pieces. And, of course, USC, you know, the Mobley brothers, the Twin Towers, they're playing great. Evan Mobley came in with a lot of hype, and I tell you what, he's lived up to it. The freshman is in the top 5 in 4 categories in the Pac-12. He's in the top 5 in scoring. He's in the top 5 in rebounding. He's in the top 5 in block shots. He's in the top 5 in field goal percentage. So he's living up to the hype and been every bit as good as everybody thought that he would. But they're playing today without Ethan Anderson, and I think that's going to hurt them. You know, when you're without your point guard in conference play, I just think it's going to be tough for USC to beat Colorado. So that might be a surprise pick for some people, but I'm going to go with Colorado over USC tonight. That's the nightcap at the 7 p.m. tip. But every week, I'm going to take a look at everything Pac-12 basketball. This has been a crazy year, as you all know. Games have been postponed, games have been canceled, but now we're getting into the thick of it. Conference play is what it's all about. You know, everybody's fighting for that opportunity for March Madness. So hopefully Pac-12 play from here on going into the new year gets better. And I just want to wish everybody out there a happy new year. And tomorrow, I'll see how I'll do with my picks that I predicted today. So happy new year, everybody. Bye-bye.